In 2025, Israel and Iran went to war. China watched, said almost nothing, and waited. Then, February 28, 2026 came. The United States joined. The Strait of Hormuz closed, and somewhere in Beijing, the calculus changed. The bombs fell. The ships stopped moving. Oil hit $119 a barrel. Everybody not invited to this war started paying more for, well, everything. Thousands of people died. Iran, Lebanon, Iraq. Americans too. The US claimed to have done the math before striking, rigorously. But to no one's surprise, except the administration, the math was not quite mathing. A few weeks in, Pakistan's foreign minister landed in Beijing. Not for tea, for help. China said yes. Dialogue, de-escalation, protect the waterways. Everyone knew which one. The country that watched in 2025 just stepped into the room. The question is, why now? Follow the supply chain. China is the world's largest importer of crude oil, buys around 80% of Iranian oil, has reserves, can wait for a while. But China does not just buy, China sells. To everyone: electric cars, construction equipment, desalination plants, semiconductors. When energy shocks hit, demand slows, orders slow, factories feel it. And here is what made this war different. China's exports to the Middle East were growing faster than almost anywhere else. Active projects in Saudi Arabia, the Emirates, Oman, Iraq. This is not diplomacy. This is not ideology. This is revenue. And right now, that market is on fire. The reason that market existed at all is partly because of Trump. Tariffs, trade restrictions, pressure on Chinese goods. So, China adapted, found new buyers. The Middle East became one of them. Now, the same administration is running a war in China's fastest-growing market. Beijing is not angry. Beijing is doing the math. China has something no other outside power has: access to both sides. Buys oil from Iran, invests in Saudi Arabia, builds across the region. In 2023, China brought Saudi Arabia and Iran back into dialogue. In 2024, it hosted Palestinian faction talks. Neither held completely, but both proved the same thing. Beijing can get enemies into the same room. Washington, right now, cannot say the same. China has no carriers in the Gulf, no military presence to speak of. What it has instead is dependency. Iran needs buyers. China buys. Saudi Arabia needs investment. China builds. When Beijing says it wants this war to end, both sides listen. Not because China is powerful in the military sense, because China is necessary in the financial sense. There are limits. China cannot enforce peace, cannot guarantee outcomes. Its neutrality is not clean, alignment with Russia, silence on rights, Taiwan always in the background. But in a war where the US is fighting, Europe is cautious, and institutions are slow, China's complicated neutrality becomes the most useful one available. In 2025, China watched. In 2026, China moved. Not because it changed its values, because it changed its calculation. And this time, the math came from the inventors of the abacus.